Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Pilates Mom. Today I'm giving you a 20-minute reformer workout. We are going to be using our long and short box. So that is the one prop you will need. There's also going to be an option to use a resistance band, really as a kind of non-slip pad. I don't have one, so that's a great, if you don't have one at home either, a resistance band is a nice way to kind of sit on, and it helps with the traction as we do some kind of rolling activities. So that's definitely an option if you have that. Otherwise, we're going to be doing lots of core work, lots of full body work really, but a lot of core, kind of working towards the full expression of a teaser, which is really challenging. So we're doing some modifications to work on that. So I hope you enjoy it. Again, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe below. Okay, and I will see you after. Have a great workout. All right, so let's get going. Let's make sure our reformer is set up. So we're going to be starting with footwork. Okay, so foot bar is up, headrest is up, and I have all four of my springs on. We're trying to keep this a little more condensed session, so I'm going to load it up just for a little extra challenge, but please feel free to adjust. My recommendation would be 3 to 4 springs. Make sure that your box is handy. And if you have a non-slip pad, that would be a great option. We'll be doing some rolling activities on the long box. I don't have one, so what I'm going to be using is just a long resistance band that I'll fold up and I'll sit on. Just gives a little extra traction. Okay, so let's get going. Let's bring your feet right to the platform. Reach those hands nice and long. Inhale here and exhale. Roll yourself down with control. Okay, position your shoulders right in front of the shoulder blocks. Make sure we're not totally compressed into those blocks, okay? Reach that tailbone nice and long towards the springs. Let's find our Pilates V position. Toes wrapped around the foot bar and in that little high heel position. We're just going to do 8 in each way. All right, so here we go. We're going to inhale, pressing out, and exhale, release. Good. 2. Exhale, nice, and 3. Release. Good. 4. Release. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Really feel the ribs expand and contract on the breath. Good. And last one. Very good. Close that carriage all the way. Lift the knees using your belly and lower with the arches on. Toes over, heels under. Here we go. Inhale, press and release. Inhale. Exhale. Good. So we're really getting our body warming up. Inhale. Exhale. Nice. 4 more. Release. Make sure we're not jamming into those knees. Last 2. Good. And last 1. Release. Good. Lift those knees up to tabletop and land with those heels on. Here we go. 8 more. Inhale, press and release. Good. 2. Release. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Get the abs working. Inhale. Good. Last 3. Really pushing with those glutes. 2. Good. And last 1. And release. Lift those knees up to tabletop and lower with the toe joint on. The feet are together. High heel position. Tailbone is down for calf stretch. Inhale, press out and stay out. Lower down and lift. Find that control. Good. So don't just let the springs drop those heels under. I want you to control the lowering and lifting. So lower and lift. We'll take 3 more. 3 and lift for 2. Good. And 1. Inhale. Good. And then exhale. Close that carriage all the way. Keeping the spring tension as is. We're going to go into a little out of sequence, but we're going into bottom lift. All right. So we're going to kind of get our pelvis and everything warmed up for our leg work that's soon to come. So we're going to inhale, scoop the belly, right? We're starting that articulation as you start to roll up. Now just be mindful that your headrest is up. Okay, so we're not going to the fullest expression. We just don't want to compress that cervical spine. So we're just going kind of midway. Really feel that scoop, that articulation. And then I want to exhale as you roll yourself down, starting with the rib cage. Okay, so inhale, scoop. Tailbone, lift up. Try to keep that carriage closed. You're going to be really using your hamstrings here. Okay, so inhale, scoop and articulate up. Good, and exhale as you articulate down. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, scoop and lift. Good. Exhale, articulate down. Now the last one will be used to set us up. So inhale, lift and scoop. Place your fist right on the mat. As you roll down, I want you to find that point right where your pelvis and your low kind of sacrum, low back meet your fist. That's kind of where we're going to be holding as we start to add some leg movement. Okay, so that's a nice way to find that position. Then reach those arms back long. That butt is still lifted and still scooping. Ribs are still pulling down. We're going to extend the carriage. So press with those legs. Inhale and exhale. Good. And inhale, exhale, inhale. Nice. So you should really feel these glutes working. Good. Last two. Close the carriage all the way. And last one. Inhale. Now close the carriage. Keep that butt lifted. Keep that butt scooping. Nice. Inhale here. And an exhale. Ribs start that articulation all the way down. Good. Hug those knees in to the chest just for a minute. Okay. All right, so let's bring the legs to tabletop, hold on the side. Let's take an inhale here, exhale. Let's roll up. Keep those legs lifted if you can. Just to challenge yourself, I'm bumping down to 2 springs, okay? Once you're there, return those legs back. Use your arms if you have to. Roll yourself all the way down and grab a hold of your short straps, okay? We're going to go right into some arm work and 100, okay? So my legs are in tabletop. Now let's make sure we're not flattening our back, right? We want to keep that little grape in our low back, tailbones reaching long. We're going to take an inhale here and an exhale press. Good. Inhale, exhale. Really feel those ribs pull down on that exhale. Keep scooping that belly. Good. One more inhale and exhale. Good. Last one, we'll hold it down. Hold. Now open those arms out to a T. Inhale and exhale. Good. Keep gluing those knees together too. Find those inner thighs. Find the pelvic floor and the low core. Last 3. Inhale. Press. And last one. Now hold it down. Lift those arms up to the ceiling. Open out to a T and press down to the waist. Inhale up and exhale. Press. Good. So we're doing like little half circles. Good. And one more. Inhale and exhale. Return up to the ceiling. Let's reverse that circle. So you're exhaling to press down, inhaling to open out and around back up to the ceiling. Exhale, press, and inhale, return. 3 more. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Keep it going. Last one. Now return up to the ceiling. Let's pause here. Take a nice, good inhale. And an exhale, lower the elbows down to the mat. Okay, keep those knees glued together. Okay, we're going to do biceps. So we're going to inhale, stay stationary. Exhale, reach those arms long. So inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. Now we're going to add an upper ab curl 5 more times. So inhale, head stays down as the arms come up. Exhale, as you reach those hands, you're going to find an upper ab curl. Good. Inhale here to lower. Exhale, reach. Good. Inhale and exhale. Good. Last 2. Exhale. Last 1. Now stay up. Good. Now if you want, extend those legs. We're going right into the 100. You can leave them down as well, whichever you prefer. So here we go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Good. 2. Good. And exhale. Really reach those hands into those handles. Good. Find a little higher upper ab curl if you can. 3, 4, 5. Inhale. And exhale. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. You got 3 more. And exhale. Here we go. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. Nice. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug the knees in. Lower your head and return the arms. You can let your feet rest for a minute. Drop the knees to one side. Good. And then another, just a quick little stretch. Okay, beautiful. All right, we're going right into some leg work. Put those feet right into those long straps. Okay, I'm keeping my tension, the spring tension the same. Okay, so lift those legs up. Let's find Pilates V. So you're finding that rotation from the hips. We're going to inhale to lower down. Exhale, scoop the belly as you turn the legs back up. So feel like you're pushing with the back of the legs, using those glutes as well. Good. Inhale down. Exhale, scoop. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Return to parallel. We're going to open, do some circles. So inhale to open. Exhale, glue the legs together and return. Nice. Inhale, open. Exhale together and return. Inhale. Good. And exhale. One more. Inhale. Good. And exhale. Let's reverse. So push those legs down first. Open out. Find those inner thighs and glue the legs together at the top. So the wider the circle, the harder it is. So just be mindful of that. Make sure we're not flattening into our low back, right? You should always maintain that little grape, right? That neutral spine. Good. Make sure we're breathing, activating those ribs and low belly muscles, and pause at the top. Nice job. We'll go right into what we call a frog. All right. So our knees are shoulder distance apart, and the straps are kind of tracking inside of our knees. We're in our Pilates V, and the toes are flexed. So I want you to really glue those heels together. Press those heels away on an inhale, and exhale. Bring the knees to the chest. Inhale, press, and exhale, release. Good. Inhale. So the knees can come in as far as they can, as long as that tailbone stays down. Inhale out. Exhale in. Inhale. Exhale. You have 3. We have 2. Nice. And last one. Beautiful. We're going to go right in to short spine. Okay, so everyone, let's lower that headrest down. Okay, that's very important. You don't want to compress that spine. Okay, so we're starting in our tabletop. We're going to inhale, press those legs out. Then exhale, scoop those legs up and over. The carriage should close. Keep tension on the straps. Bend those knees directly over the shoulder blocks. Keep the feet in front of your eyes and roll your spine down. Good, until you can't, and then you bring those legs back to tabletop. So inhale, press away. Exhale, scoop and close that carriage. Lift those legs nice and long. Bend those knees in. Articulate and roll your spine down. Find length in the hamstrings. And then return to tabletop. We have 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Find that articulation just as you did in that bridge. Good. And bend those knees. Articulate down. Pull from the ribs first. Right? Find length in the hamstrings. Then return. Good. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Peel that spine up and over. Bend those knees in. Exhale to roll. And finish right there. Grab a hold of both straps. Let the carriage close using those hands. Good. You can place your feet down and hang up your straps. Okay. Not a bad little warm up. Okay, let's bring the legs to tabletop. Inhale here. Exhale. Swoop around to a seated position. I'm going to grab my long box and my band. I'm going to leave the 2 springs on. So I just have kind of a heavier band. I'm just going to fold it up. Okay, and I'm going to place it right in the middle. And that's kind of where my bottom is going to sit. Okay, it's just, again, adding a little bit of traction so we don't kind of lose our pants as we do a little bit of roll downs. I'm going to position my foot bar just a little bit out. Okay, so we have a little bit of space. Okay, so you might need to adjust a little bit. So feel free to take that time. Okay, safety is number 1. Okay, so we're going to kind of do some teaser modifications, of course. Okay, not the full teaser. So it's just a way to get us a little bit stronger. Okay, so I want us to reach those arms nice and long. And we're going to do a few roll downs. Okay, so we're going to inhale here and exhale as we start to roll and articulate back. Kind of like halfway, right? That's our exhale, then inhale to roll back up. Okay, so an exhale, scoop the belly, articulating. Good. And then scoop the belly as you return. So exhale. Good. Feel that abdominal scoop. Feel the ribs leading you back up. We'll do one more. Scoop and articulate all the way down, right into that kind of upper ab curl. And then inhale. Let's sit up tall. Good. So we're going to kind of go into from the mat work, like an open leg rocker. All right. So I want us to kind of sink back onto our tailbone. Now you can leave your feet positioned right on the foot bar, or if you want a little more balanced challenge, we can keep yourself lifted tall here. Okay. So we're going to inhale as we lift one leg long and exhale to bend. So we're just working on the core control. Right? We're scooping the belly. We're in a tall C position. Good. So keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. One more each side. Inhale, exhale. Good. And last one, inhale and exhale, right? So we're going to try. Now that might be enough for you. And if so, just leave it as is. But let's try lifting one leg and then the other leg. So we're kind of getting into that teaser position, right? And then bend and bend. Okay, so inhale, exhale, and then return one at a time back down. Let's do one more. Inhale, exhale, good, and lower, and lower. Put those feet right on the foot bar and sit up nice and tall. Okay, that was pretty good. Let's reach our arms nice and long. We're going to scoop our abdomen, roll back just halfway, and I want us to kind of find the palms up to the ceiling. We're reaching, our sternum is like lifting up to the corner of the room. Glue those feet together. We're just going to try to do a few little extensions. So you're going to press out with those legs and then return. Okay, so this is nice because, I mean, you should really feel your core working, of course. Okay, we're in that upper, the half of our body, our arms and our trunk is in that teaser position. Okay, but we have the support of the foot bar. Okay, and we're getting used to what it feels like to be in this position on a moving carriage. Okay, because that can be pretty challenging at times. Good. Let's do one more. Press out and in. Now sit up tall. Nice inhale and exhale. We're going to go back to that position again. So arms reach nice and long, scoop the tailbone and hold it there. Okay, so now, again, if that was enough for you, continue with that. If you want, what we're going to do is extend one leg. Okay, so as you press out, I want the one leg to come into the chest as the other leg is pushing into the foot bar. And then as you close, you're extending that leg long. So inhale, press, and exhale, release. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Inhale. My abs are on fire. I hope yours are too. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. And exhale. Good. Close that or lower that foot down. Sit up tall. Nice inhale and exhale. Okay, we have side two. Arms reach long. Scoop the tailbone. Rock back. Okay. Extend the opposite leg over that foot bar. Here we go. We're going to inhale, press. Bring that knee to the chest and exhale, release. Good. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We have 4. Release. Good. Release. And last one. Inhale and exhale. Nice. Lower that foot down to the foot bar and articulate your spine up. Whew. So even though that's a modification, that's a lot of work. We're just going to get stronger as we work into that full teaser position. So I hope you enjoyed that little modification. I'm going to position my box now in the short box position. We don't need this band any longer, so I'm just going to ditch it to the side. I'm going to keep the 2 spring tension on. I want us to have our hands right on the shoulder blocks and the knees up against the box, or the hands are on the shoulder blocks and the knees are against the short box. Little tongue twister. Put that heel, one heel on the foot bar, and we're just going to press out. Find some glutes here. Okay, now we're in that neutral spine. Okay, so inhale out, exhale in, and press. Right, so just a little core action, of course. Our core is always pulling in neutral, right? So we're gluing those abs in. Okay, and press. Very good. Now, if you want a little challenge, okay, opposite arm reaches long. Let's take 5 more. And 5. Good. 4. Nice. 3. 2. Good. Last one. Very good. Close that carriage all the way. Switch to the other side. So other heel on. Make sure we're up and pushing into those arms. Pull the belly in. And here we go. Inhale, press. And release. So turn those glutes and hamstrings on. Good. Press. Release. Nice job. Press. Release. Good. Now here we go. If you want that little extra challenge, reach that opposite arm long. And here we go. Out and in. Good. And keep going. We have 5 more. Here's 5. Nice. 4. Good. 3. And 2. Nice. And 1. Close that carriage all the way. Safely step off and let's ditch our box. Just place it right to the side. Okay, we're going to finish with a little stretch. So sitting on the carriage, cross the knee or the ankle over the knee and hinge forward. Okay, pressing with the elbow, pushing down just to feel that glute a little bit. Good. Nice, and switch. Okay, so I'm kind of actively pressing this leg down as I hinge my body forward. Okay, you should feel a nice, good external rotation. The hip and that glute, kind of finding nice, good length in that glute, piriformis. Okay, unwind. And you did it. Nice, kind of short and spicy reformer. Working on our core, prepping for the full teaser. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.